Today we're going to be talking about reading a light plot. Okay, so yes, you will need that paper scale, and I printed out plots for you in your package that you guys came and picked up. So you'll be able to use that scale, look at the drawings, and also figure out the questions in the quiz that will be coming up. I have a PowerPoint that I'll pull up now for you guys. As soon as I find it. Okay. Okay, so reading a light plot. Okay. If you have space and you've pulled out all of your light plots right now, if you pull out your main stage light plot, we can go over different pieces and parts and you guys can write notes right onto that light plot. On this PowerPoint, I have labeled everything on that light plot. So this is the ground plan of our main stage. And if you look right here, it says plaster line. So that's our proscenium arch opening. This is going to be an important part of reading our light plot because everything is going to start from this plaster line of how we start labeling everything. So if it's on stage, above the stage, which this is our stage area, and out here is our audience area. So from this plaster line, every pipe that has fixtures on it will have a label. And the way we'll label it is the plaster line is 0. The first pipe with fixtures on it on the stage closest towards that plaster line is going to be your first electric. The second pipe is going to be the second electric away from that plaster line. And then we have third electric, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. So every time we have a pipe full of lights, it'll be able to be labeled. So now we can start mapping out where the light designer has placed all of their fixtures. Now, anything that's out towards the audience will still start with 0. Here at FIU Theater, we have a pit pipe, which is right above the apron. So that's our front of house. That's the FOH, was front of house, which is our pit pipe. So we'll have fixtures out on this pit pipe as well. Now we also have catwalks out above the audience. So the closest one towards that plaster line will be our first catwalk. Then the next pipe down below will be our second catwalk. So it'll always be the closest towards the plaster line will be number 1. And as you move away from it, it'll be number 2, number 3, number 4, and so on. What's also important when reading your light plot is not just the plaster line, but also our center line here, which is going to be a dash line in the center of the drawing. And another important way to read your light plot is the designer may have areas mapped out on stage. So this would be my apron. And then moving backwards would be more areas, and you can see more circles of all the areas where actors or scenery will be out on stage. And that light designer will be able to help map out where those fixtures are pointed by mapping out these areas. So areas, well, I'd have area A, B, C, D, and E. So now I know where that light designer would want to aim something out on stage. Another feature of your light plot here is you're going to have a legend. So that's going to be over here on my right. It's going to show all the different types of fixtures being used in this light plot. And on this particular light plot, this is from She Kills Monsters, which Tony directed and I light designed. I also have it mapped out to what colors are being used in gel in this particular light plot. So I can be able to look at my legend and know what type of fixture is being used out on the pipe by looking here. And when I go to measure out where all my fixtures go, my title block here is going to be important because it's going to have the scale down here. Scale is 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. So when I need to start measuring out and placing fixtures on the light plot. This next slide is going to take one sample of one of the electrics, and now I can start mapping out where these fixtures would go on my light plot. So every time I start a new electric or even a brand new pipe out on the catwalk, I'm going to have fixtures placed on the pipe. Every new pipe, so if this is my first electric, I'm going to start with fixture number 1 on my right. And you can see right in the middle of the fixture, there's a number 1. The second fixture, there's going to be a number right in the middle of the fixture for fixture number 2, number 3, number 4, and so on. So they're all labeled at how many fixtures and what fixture designation it would be on that pipe. So if I went to electrics number 2, the first fixture that I would have on the pipe on the right side would start at number 1 all over again. And I would be able to make some of the paperwork that would be given to the master electrician called a schedule. And that would be handed over from the designer to the master electrician and the electrics group. And they would be able to start hanging all of the instruments for that particular light design. And they would know where everything goes according to that schedule and the markings of each of these fixtures. So this is another example of another electric. And fixture number 1 and 2 are cut off over here. But you can see fixture number 3, fixture 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way going across. So there's a mistake here. You see 7, 6. So it should go 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, when the master electrician gets this light plot, they will be able to take their scale. You can see the scale, and I said it was in 1/4 inch scale. That's why I have the 1/4 inch scales placed here, so we can start reading where each fixture goes. So if I wanted to see where would fixture number 3 on this pipe get placed, I would put my scale starting on this red dotted line, which is our center line. And I'd put the scale starting at 0. I wouldn't put it starting here at the end of all of the measurements, because the scale is placed this way because 0 is 0. I have 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot. So it would be marked every foot that way. And then behind the 0 are inches. So this would be 1, 2, 3 inches, 6 inches is in the middle, 9 is the next bigger mark, and then 12 inches behind. So if I had to measure inches, I'd go behind the 0. Every whole foot is in front of the 0. So going back to how far off of the center line would be fixture 3 on this plot. So fixture 3 would be at 16 foot, 6 inches. Because this is 16, this would be the 17 mark, and halfway in the middle would be 6 inches. So it'd be 16 foot, 16 inches is where I would place fixture number 3. Say I'm placing fixture number 4 as our next fixture. So that would be placed here. If I look at my scale ruler at in between the 12 and 14 foot, so that's 13 feet. I would put my mark and hang that fixture on the pipe. So this is where the scale comes in handy. You'll be able to measure this on your drawing. And then in the real world, when you go out on main stage to hang this, you'll have a tape measure and you'll measure from the center point out to where your fixture would be hung. I'm going to go back to you guys and ask if you have any questions so far. You guys following along? No? Even though I can't see all of your faces? Okay, thank you, Christina. Lo or Jordan, do you have anything to add before I keep going forward? Because I'm going to go on to another slide.
I guess just to say that if this is your first time dealing with a light plot, it might seem a little complicated, but as you continually do these kind of things, the repetition, it seems a lot easier. So I know it might seem like it's scattershot all over the page, but when you can break it down and dissect it piece by piece, it becomes a lot easier.
Right. And I, on purpose, gave you a real complicated plot. She Kills Monsters has a lot of information packed into that one sheet of paper. So you'll be able to tell all the different electrics, the different catwalks, the placement of the fixture on the pipe. And then the next slide.
Wait, Chris, I do kind of have a question.
Okay.
Do you have the copy of the She Kills Monsters light plot with you?
Yes.
I can't find the center line. I don't know why.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So you can go ahead and use a straight edge. The center line is turned off on the actual printed version. And if you find the center point between, let me pull it up. If you pull up, so I have the light plot right here. If you take a straight edge and aim it from the front of the stage, which is right here, you can see the steps. Put the straight edge right in between all these floor lights and go straight up stage with it to the center of these cyc lights upstage. You can make your own center line.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for pointing that out. Then going back to the PowerPoint, my next slide, I enlarged the legend here, and I also enlarged a portion of a couple of the fixtures that are out on any of the given pipes. And you'll notice that it has information even on top of not just what type of fixture this is. So because of this slash mark in the front of this source 4 right here, I can come over to my legend and look at all my source 4s, and the one with one slash is going to designate that this is a 26-degree source 4. So I know what type of fixture is actually hung here. It's the second fixture because of the location on that pipe. I'm going to have the gel color designated here in front of the fixture. So R21 is going to be this orange color, according to my legend. I'm going to have a focus area. So focus area P, and it's going to be patched into channel 27. So when you plug this in, it's going to be plugged into a dimmer, and that's going to be a hardwired dimmer. So it might be plugged into dimmer 1, But whoever's at the board and is patching all the fixtures in would be able to patch dimmer number 1, which is address 1, to channel 27. And that's what the designer wants it patched to. So I would know that's channel 27. Focus P, I would be able to go back to the plot and find all of these areas here. And I would know that it would probably end up somewhere upstage up here would be area P that aren't labeled at the moment. Over here, this next fixture in the center of the slide, I can look at the image here and then come over to my legend again and see that this is most likely going to be the ultimate 8-inch Fresnel. So I know what type of fixture it is. It's going to be the 5th fixture on that pipe because of the location. It's going to get a gel color of RO2. If I look at my legend down here, it's going to be Bastard Amber is an RO2. And then it's going to be focused on D, area D. And then patched into channel 54. Now this last fixture here on the slide, so it's going to be the 15th fixture on that pipe. It's going to have a gel color of R21, which is that orange again. It's going to be focused in between 2 areas. So it's going to be focused in between L and M. So it doesn't have its own area. It'll be focused in between the 2 and then be patched into channel 20. Okay. Now the black box has a different setup than main stage because it has pipes going crisscross of themselves. So it has 2 different types of labels. So starting on one side of the black box, since we don't have a natural center line and plaster line, because this isn't a proscenium stage, it's a black box. So it can be reconfigured in many different ways, but the grid up top is always going to be the same. So I'll have different pipes that are going from left to right, pipe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pipes going from the left side of the building to the right. And then I'll have going across, I'll have pipe A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So those pipes are always going to be the same. Whereas on main stage, and you have that proscenium stage, electrics might change to different pipes, because we can hang fixtures on any of our line sets, and we have 50 of them out on main stage. So those can move. They're not always set as the same pipe, and that's always an electric. So those have the ability to change. Whereas here on the black box, these pipes designations are going to stay the same. Okay. Stop the share. So if you have your main stage light plot out, and I'd like for you guys to find the 3rd electric. If you find the 3rd electric, now find the 13th fixture on that 3rd electric. Can one of you tell me what type of fixture that is? You also have all of these drawings in your lecture assignment portion in Canvas. So they're also electronically on the computer. It's not just the printed, but the printed version is going to be easy for that electrics crew and that master electrician to pull out and find out all the locations of all these fixtures. Has anyone, go ahead, Shadia.
Is it an alternate 8-inch for now?
Yes, it is. Okay, so can you tell me what area is it focused in? Anyone but Shadia.
In between R and N. Question mark?
You're on electric number 3?
Yeah, I think yes.
And fixture number 13.
Yeah.
So there'll be a 13 right in the middle of the fixture.
Yeah.
Okay, it shouldn't be.
Oh wait, I numbered my fixtures wrong. My bad. My bad.
Did you find it?
Wait, no, I did not. No, I'm confused.
Okay.
Chris, can you repeat the question?
Yes. So we're on She Kills Monsters main stage light plot. It's going to be electric number 3. So going from the plaster line above the stage will be, every pipe will be an electric. So the closest one toward the plaster line is electric number 1. Second pipe would be electrics number 2. And then so on and so on. And we're looking at electric number 3.
It's in the S area, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I numbered it wrong. My bad.
Okay. So this is electric number 3 I have on the screen now. And yes, it's focused. This is fixture number 13 right here in the dead center of the screen. It's focused in area S. So that means it's going to have a gel of RO2, which is an amber. And it's going to be patched here to channel 73. Okay, let's try another one on catwalk 1. On catwalk 1, which they're a little bit more spread out. Fixture number 7. Can you tell me what type of fixture that is?
Source 4?
It is a source 4. Could you tell me the degree of the barrel?
26. 26 degree, right?
Yes, the 26 degree source 4. Is everyone following that? What we're practicing right now is what your quiz is going to be on. So you guys, if you're not understanding, ask some questions and try to figure this out. So yes, that is a source 4, 26 degree. Can you tell me what gel is in that fixture? Catwalk 1, fixture 7.
Is it R2? I think. Let me see. Let me make sure.
Yeah, double check.
R21. 21.
R21. Yes. And what area is it focused in?
N and O. Or am I wrong? I'm not sure.
You're wrong. You're scaring me, Christina, because you got.
Oh
all
no! Oh no! I'm looking at the wrong. I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm sorry. Is it H? Is it focused in H?
It's focused in G and H because it has 2 letters in the front. I'm gonna pull up.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was looking at the wrong one.
Okay. So this would be my catwalk 1, fixture number 7.
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong one. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. But I would be able to find that out here. Now, if I had to use my scale ruler, and this was my center line, I'd be able to mark where is it on the pipe. So it should be 3 feet off center line. all of these hash marks, there's one underneath each fixture here. Each one of those hash marks is 18 inches apart. And we usually have those marks there because when the designer drops in a fixture, you want them about 18 inches apart because that leaves enough space for us to actually move the fixture to be focused without hitting the fixture next to it. So if I put them right up next to each other, I wouldn't have the ability to have a pan left or a pan right to be able to focus. So that's one reason why these little hash marks are there every 18 inches. So 1.5 feet. So there's enough space in between the fixtures for them to move and be focused. Okay. Take a moment and either pull up your black box drawing from electronically in your Canvas, or you can pull out the sheet of the plot that I printed out for you guys. So bring out your black box. So now this one might be a little bit more difficult because there's many more pipes to look at and find your instrument.